Rodney, and I'm the founder of The Word Changes, and I'm here today with Rosi Ross, and we're here for a conversation about living a courageous life. Rosi Ross is a transplant from Venezuela to Panama to China. She moved to China without knowing anyone, without knowing the language, and she is doing her thing. So, this year, our theme for The Word Changes is live courageously, and that's exactly what Rosi Ross is doing. So I wanted to highlight her. I wanted to bring her on to have a conversation with her, because how many of us are out there wanting to live out our dreams, wanting to, live out our passions, but we have fear in our lives. And I think it's great when we hear from real people to hear what they have done, and then we can be inspired. So I'm hoping that this conversation is an inspiration to all of you. And for those that do not know The Word Changes, we are the fashion brand that motivates. We use one word to be able to encourage and motivate people to live out their true life. So each of our products have one word on it. We're on all of social media as The Word Changes, and we have a website, wordchanges.com. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Rosi Ross. Hey!
Hello, everybody. Rosi Ross in here. Good morning from China. Let's start saying that I support the cause, the world changes. I'm a fashionista. I was born in Venezuela, then moved to Panama for 8 years. And now I've been living in China for 1 year and 8 months. And I've been doing my journey, I've been doing my stuff, and I look also to inspire people and to bring people to jump into whatever they want to do, taking resources, talking to people around. I do also TEDx. I talk about all these topics most of the time. And besides inspiring, I also look to try to get people into do actions. So they really want to achieve and have the change they want to have in their lives.
Awesome. And we're going to dive into a bunch of those things.
Oh, yes, of course.
So you say, okay, that you were born in Venezuela. So how did you end up in China? So you're in Venezuela. I know you ended up in Panama at some time and then now in China. How did you get from Venezuela to Panama? How about that?
Okay, when I was 18 years old, I was studying English in San Francisco, and Chavez started with the political issues in Venezuela. And I remember when I was going to university, they stopped the currency exchange, so you couldn't change your money in any ways anywhere. So my dad called me a day and he told me hey, you have to come back next week. I was about to die or kill people. But so I went back, and when I get back, I really, really want to live outside. I wanted to move forward. I wanted to keep going for my dreams. Yeah. And I remember at the time there was a lot of people interested in Panamanian economy. And I went to Panama for 5 days with my father. And then I was like, you know what? I'm moving here. Mm-hmm. Because everybody speaks Spanish. You have USD currency. I mean, I can finish university here, so let's do this. And then I moved to Panama, and I planned to finish university, but I finished staying there 8 years. So now I'm more like Panamanian kind of swag.
Yeah. That's nice, but that must have been a shock. Your father calling you one day and saying you have to come back next week.
But I don't know. People, you grow from challenging. Mm-hmm. Life is going to challenge you in some way, and no matter what you're doing. So I think in the way things come out, you have to look up for the opportunities to moving forward, no matter how bad is the situation around you. If you really want to do things, I think that's the right kind of mindset you should have.
Right. So you moved back to Venezuela, and then how long did you stay there before you get to Panama?
1 year.
1 year, okay. So during that time, you then go to Panama, and what do you do there? Are you studying? You said you went to school there? What kind of?
Yes, I finished university.
Oh, okay. What did you study?
Communications. I focused myself on TV production and cinema production. That's what I wanted to be in CNN when I was younger. So I was like, okay, this is going to be nice. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on TV. So I joined.
Right? That's awesome. That's awesome. So then how did you end up getting the desire to move to China?
Well, let's say that I like fashion a lot, and I always like going to malls and see what kind of things look nicely, but they are cheap, but they look expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in university, I always have this, okay, let's buy something, but let's buy something that looks really expensive, but it's really cheap. And then I started reading about things made in China, and my family always encouraged me to have my own job, like my own business. And I was interested about how things are done, because everything that we see, a car, a chair, everything is made somewhere, and actually everything is made in China. And that was one of the first reasons that got me like, okay, I really want to go there and see it. But then you have the language issue that is like, okay, if you don't speak Mandarin or Chinese, it's going to be tough for you being around.
Right.
But once you are here, it's like, that's in your mind. I think once you're there, everything becomes easy. You just have to give it a try.
Right. But what did your parents did when you actually made the decision? I guess, so how did you finally say, I'm going to do this? Like, I'm going to go to China? Because it's one thing to think about something and have a desire, and it's another thing to say, you know what, I'm going to go for it.
Okay, it was like 3 years ago. At the time, I really loved my job on TV, but you know, when you have that feeling that you really want to move forward and that you really can achieve the best version of yourself doing whatever you have to do it. I was like, okay, because I really wanted to come here to study Chinese. Mm-hmm. But studying Chinese here in Shanghai is really expensive. So I was like, you know what? If we don't have the money to go to China to study Chinese, I'm going to find a job, because one thing or another, I'm going to find a job. And then I started looking for a job, and I remember at the time there was a lot of hype on LinkedIn to find a job online. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, maybe if this thing needs to have a trick. So actually at the time, and luckily, LinkedIn has an algorithm just like Facebook or Instagram, mm-hmm, for you finding a job. So I started joining myself all these webinars about how to have the right profile in LinkedIn so you can get got by a company. And I started editing and stuff. And a company found me on LinkedIn. And I remember at the time I only have like 800 on my bank account. And I was still saving money to study Chinese. But the company was like, okay, we are going to relocate you. We pay you all the expenses and you come to China. And I was like, hell yeah, this is happening. I'm doing this. So and my family panicked, honestly. Like my father, everybody was like, okay. And I was like, no, I mean, I have everything. I have the flight ticket. I'm going to have house paid. I'm going there. But then when I arrived here, I arrived to the factory city of China. And then life is really tough in there. Okay, so I was like,
before you get there though, when you're on LinkedIn looking for these, or I guess, are you putting in Chinese manufacturing companies? Like how just for the people out there that are
I think things work out for opportunity and luck sometimes. Like if you are looking for something, the right opportunity is not going to arrive. The only thing that is going to arrive is opportunity. Mm-hmm. This is not going to be the perfect opportunity to do things in life ever. So the only things you have is a chance. Mm-hmm. So I only put like my name in other Chinese chat, like sourcing chat or marketing in China, jobs in China. And this company actually found me on a job in China post. They did a post, and I just replied, and they replied me 2 weeks later.
I see.
It was just a match of luck. Right. I'm going to try all the chances I have to do this.
Right. So that is important that you put yourself out there, because it's one thing to want to do something, and it's another thing to actively take steps to do it. So it's not like it just fell into your lap. You actually were working, you know? So okay, they contact you, and what kind of job is it? Like, what's the job description?
It was a marketing manager in a healthcare company. And they did healthcare products, food care products, and I had no idea about that. And my boss at the time, he was like, you have to introduce a marketing program for us. But I've been in fashion since I'm like 20. I have no idea about how food products work. So I spent like 2 months or 3 months reading all about the food and how the food works.
Hey, education. Yeah, no,
exactly. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for this. But when I look back now, it was weird. But you have to do things. I mean, if you really want to get there, you are going to have certain kind of situation on the way that are not directly related, but they are going to teach you the things you need to understand and the things you need to do to be there.
Right.
So if you are not willing to do all those things, I don't think you are going to arrive there. So I'm happy I did it.
So it's putting in the work. So, okay, you convince your family to let you go. You go to China. Now, does this company like meet you at the airport with a driver? Like, how do you?
Yes, that was the typo. Yeah, actually, they sent a guy with your name in English and stuff. I remember I didn't see it. I was super nervous. The Canton airport is like one of the most transit airports in south of China. So there was millions of people walking around, and everybody was looking like the same people. So
yeah.
It was super weird.
It's a different place. It's a different place. Did your driver speak English?
No, any English, any English. And I remember I ran to the airport, and the first thing was looking around to buy a SIM card. And when I went to talk with the guy, he was like, "Oh no, Mayo, like I don't speak Chinese, no English, no English." And I spent like 20 minutes trying to buy a car. I finally did. And I text everyone like, "Hey, I'm fine. I'm alive. I'm good.
It's real. It's legitimate. The company exists." Yeah, no, that's funny. That's funny. So you lived in what town did you end up actually arriving to?
Dongguan.
So that's where the company headquarters was?
Yes. Actually, most of the companies that make plastic and also healthcare and things for the body, they are in there. Like, it's a city where all the things you see is factories. It's the biggest city about factories in China.
So it is true what they say, that China is divided into like districts where they do specific factory operations. So one could be like making men's ties, another one leather goods. So you were in the town where plastic.
Exactly. And it's right what you're saying. Like when you are here, every region have their own kind of products, because when the factory boom started many thousand years ago, people work around like, in my city, it's only, I don't know, wood. So let's make paper. So I call you like, "Hey, Antoinette, let's make paper because you have wood in your backyard and me too. Okay, let's make paper." So we open a factory. And that's how all the regions are made, because they have their own sources around them.
Right. So, okay, now you get picked up at the airport. You're in this factory town. So they set you up with a place to stay, I guess?
Yes. Most of the Chinese companies, they relocate you in a hotel, because it's a welcoming like thing to do for them. And then they take you the next day to the factory or your office, and then they introduce you your coworkers. And most of the time you are going to live with your coworkers. You are going to share the apartment or the place with someone. At the time, I remember this was this Colombian girl that is one of my best friends now. She's still living in Dongguan. And she looked at me and she was like, I knew she was arrived 3 days before I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, are you from Colombia? And she was like, yes, you had to go from Panama, right? And I was like, yes. And she told me, I think you are my roommate. And I was like, okay, Latinas on power. She was like, yes.
So how many of you came from different countries?
All my team was from different countries. Indonesia, Colombia, one guy from United States, one guy from Europe, I think Russia, and me.
Interesting.
Yes.
But it's so funny because a lot of things are made in China cheap. And so that's why a lot of people shop in China. But your salary, I'm wondering, because labor's kind of cheap. So how was your salary? You don't have to give the dollar figure, but I mean, was it more than they paid Chinese workers?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, in general, first because nobody wants to come to China. And I think there is a lot of misunderstanding about life in China. Most of the people say like, oh, Rosie, why you live there? People eat dog. Everybody look the same. They look like people have a lot of misunderstanding about life in China.
Right.
But from the perspective of foreigners, amongst the quantity of Chinese that they are here, there are nearly any foreigner in here.
Right.
So nobody wants to come here. And second, Chinese companies, even though there's a lot of people, it's just a few people who is like, they have a good CV to be the manager or the president or to have high positions. So most of the companies, they bring people from abroad so they can have high positions in the company, because most of the people who has the possibility to study outside of China, they decided to stay outside. They usually don't come back unless they have the possibility of start their own factory of their own business.
Right.
Yes.
Oh man. So so you get there, do they give you a list of like the grocery stores and like where you can buy different things? How did
Not at all. Not at all. Natalie, my friend from Colombia, she had been here in China already for 2 years at the time. She went to study in Beijing. And she teach me around basic words, like how to tell the guy from the taxi to stop, this, that in Chinese, how to say no, how to say yes, how to take the bus, how to pay the phone, because everything is made with technology here. So you have to understand how to use your phone in Chinese, because many of the things are not in English.
Right.
So she teach me actually how to master my phone so I can master the other things around.
Right. So it's funny because I lived in Sweden for like 1.5 years. And although they speak English, you will see signs in Swedish. So it's like I kind of had to learn the key words, like what a restroom was, the train, which direction. So I could totally understand just getting those main things that you need to function. You know?
Yes.
So Natalie, where is she from originally as well?
She's from Colombia.
Oh, so before this job, she was actually in Beijing?
In Beijing, yes.
Oh, so she enjoys China. I see.
Yes.
So now you're there. They don't give you the list. Your friend is kind of cluing you in on what to do. Okay, you're working, right? So what's the environment like at work? Like, do you like your coworkers?
Tough. Tough. I arrived to a traditional Chinese company. So here you have traditional, middle traditional, and startups, foreigner companies. So in the traditional companies, the boss is the boss and you are the employee. So you cannot say anything against the boss. Like if the boss says that is, no matter if he's wrong, you have to say yes, that is, no matter how wrong that is. So it was really hard for me because sometimes my boss took decisions that wasn't right for the team or wasn't right for the goals we have as a team. So of course, I'm Western. I'm going to tell you that this is not right. And my friends were like, oh, no, Rosie. We know you are the manager, but you cannot say that to the boss because he's not going to like it. And I was like, dude, but this is not right at all. Like, we shouldn't be doing this in this way. We should do it that way.
Right.
And then when you talk to other people who have been in the same situation, you understand that it's their culture. Like the traditional culture in here is like that. Like the bosses and the people who is in the upper levels, they are here, and the people who is the worker, they are down here. And I tell you what to do, and you just do it without discussing if it's right or not.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? This is not going to happen, and I'm getting my ass out of here. And I was like, I'm giving this job 6 months, and then this is not going to work.
So
6 months in there, I was like, bye guys, you're my team, and I really like you. They are all my friends now, but I was like, this is not happening.
So why
So
did
I changed my job.
Why 6 months? Like, how long was it, I guess, when you first realized, like, this is not going to work?
3 months. 3 months, and I realized it because my friends were like, if you're still having that attitude, you are going to get so fired. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I should learn, but it's really hard to learn how to be, when you come from a culture when you are used to give your opinions and try to improve others people's group, like your team, or give value to your ideas or what you do. It's really hard to get used to say, I'm going to shut my mouth and say whatever other people say I should do. That's not me at all. So I was like, this is not for me. This is not going to work out. So I decided to quit.
So how did you tell them? Because you're there on a work visa, right?
Yes.
So how did you break the news to them?
No, actually, when I arrived here, Panama has good relationships with Taiwan. So most of the countries that have good relationship with Taiwan doesn't have Chinese office because Taiwan doesn't belong to China.
Right.
It's an independent country. So when I came here, I have a business visa. I did my visa in Malaysia at the time, and my boss was like, it's okay. So I was like, if I have a business visa and this thing is not going to work out, I'm going to quit this thing, and then I figure things out.
Right.
And from my previous experience getting in trouble, I think that you have to go there and then you see what you do, but you have to go there first. And when you are there, you say, okay, this is the real situation, not the situation I thought. So now I'm going to take actions around it. Because most of the time we think about the situation and it's not the real situation. Things are not going to be like that once you are there. So you have to go there first. So I started looking a job again, and I was like, I'm going to back to my fashion. I'm going to back to my styling. I'm going to go back to the things I have always done because this is good, but this is not what I want to do.
Right.
And another company found me on LinkedIn here in Shenzhen where I live. And I really like the location because it's only 45 minutes by ferry to Hong Kong. And this company has a lot of people working on it. It's listed on the market. Like they do a lot of fashion and they sell on e-commerce. So I was like, okay, it's related to what I do. I would take the job, and I take it.
Okay, so they were based in Shenzhen.
Yes.
Okay. And you wanted to be close to Hong Kong?
Yes.
Okay. And what's so nice about Hong Kong?
Everything. Because when you cross, the thing is that China is parallel to everything else. Like once you cross the border, the world is different. There is not point to compare. Like once you cross the border to Hong Kong, the people is different, the mindset is different, environment is different, technology is different. You have free internet. You don't have to use VPN to make calls, and you can talk openly to people. People don't look at you weird because you're different. So being in China is living in a parallel universe from the rest, from the rest of the world.
Right. So when you're in Hong Kong, there are other Latinos around that you see in numbers, or are you still kind of?
No, Hong Kong is actually really, really, really international. Really, really international. You see people from all the nationalities, all the colors, all the shapes. People speak British English, which is really funny because seeing someone who is really Chinese and speaking to you in British, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But it's a Western country. It's a total Western country. Nothing to do with China.
Okay, and when you say it has free internet, so where you are right now, because you're still not in Hong Kong, you have to pay for your internet. Explain that,
Like,
because some people might not understand.
like in China, there is a lot of websites. There is around 250, 300 websites that are blocked because China is a communist country. So the government controls everything. So you cannot open Facebook, you cannot open Instagram, you cannot open Google, you cannot open CNN. There is a lot of websites that are blocked. So when you go to look for information, you have to look on the local website, and of course, it's all controlled by the government. So there is a lot of information that you are not going to find out.
Right.
What you're doing here is that you buy your VPN, you pay for your VPN, and then when you activate on your mobile phone or your computer, you have freedom on the internet. But sometimes the connection sucks.
Right.
So no matter how hard you try to open it, it's not going to work out. So it's complicated.
Yeah, so why not live in Hong Kong then?
Because Hong Kong is 6 times more expensive than Shenzhen, than China in general. There is a lot of people. Besides, there is a lot of people. The property is really expensive. Like you need to earn around 3,000, 4,000 USD a month to have a small space. And I'm not talking to you about an apartment. I'm talking to you about sharing a space or having a small little apartment.
Wow.
So it's not. If you are relocated by a company, it's a good shot. But if you are trying to do something for yourself, it's not a good shot at all.
Yeah, makes sense.
And lifestyle is expensive. Going out is expensive. Food, international food in here, no matter if it's China or it's Hong Kong, is more expensive because everything else is Chinese. Like,
yeah,
if you know how to cook Chinese, you are going to save a lot. But if you're not, get ready for it.
Wow. Yeah, recently I was reading an article about coffin houses in China, in Hong Kong, and I couldn't believe it that they were saying that the cost of living is so high that people are living in like really, really small spaces because they can't afford anything. And I was looking at some of the pictures and I was like, whoa. I mean, families living in spaces that are like no bigger than my bathroom. Wow.
Yes.
So that was just interesting to me. But what about like the whole air quality in Hong Kong? You know, because they have those fogs and everything.
In Hong Kong is fine because it's an island, it's on the sea. In my city, we have high seasons. That is 2 weeks before every holiday, the city goes crazy because all the factories start rushing production. But the worst, nothing gets worse than Beijing. Beijing is crazy. When you go there, it's surreal. The first time I went there was really bizarre for me because you see all these people with the mask, and you have all kind of masks. Like if you want a Hello Kitty mask, you can find a Hello Kitty mask. If you want a really fancy Swarovski mask, we have the Swarovski mask for you. Because it's normal having pollution, and people get used to. And when I talked with Natalie, my friend, that was my first experience in Beijing, she was like, "Girl, sometimes I couldn't go out of home, and I have to go to work or I have to go to university." But honestly, I couldn't because the pollution was like, you cannot see the building in front of you.
Wow.
And they have these red, blue, green stages. And when it's red, it's like you can go out, but there is over amount of pollution. When it's like blue, you have to wear double mask. And when it's like another color, it has like radiation, so people cannot go out of their house for 24 hours until the situation gets better. So nothing gets worse than Beijing.
So they cancel work when it gets that bad?
Yes, actually 2 weeks ago that happened, that they cancel, like they forbidden people to go out of their houses for 2 days because the pollution was crazy.
Wow. So you always need to be stocked up with food or something just in case, right?
have some snacks around.
Yeah, wow. So that is
Yes.
that's just amazing. So okay, to switch back to this company finds you in Shenzhen, I know I'm saying it wrong, and you decide to take the job in the fashion. So what happens next? You accept the position?
And then it was the same stuff again, because it's a traditional mindset in here. That's the normal mindset around. So I start doing my stuff. I start learning things about e-commerce, and I start learning about sourcing, and I start learning about tools and resources you need to understand and things you have to do in order to have your own business.
I see.
8 months later, I was under here, and things are not going to work out again. So I quit, and I told my friends to help me around, and now I'm starting my own business. I'm getting asked a lot to give workshops about entrepreneurship and how to start your e-commerce, how to make business on Instagram. I also have my sunglasses in Panama. We're starting like selling now, and things are going not that easy, because one of the lies of entrepreneurship is that you have to quit your job to live the life you want.
Yeah.
But once you're there, that's not true.
Yep.
So many friends of mine in Hong Kong, many of my related who are also entrepreneurs, and they also own their own startups, they have been like, hey Rosie, can you give a workshop about how to be safe when you are starting your startup, but safe with yourself, because all the things we read on the internet might or might not be true, and most of the people follow what they see on the internet, like, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but when this comes to practice, nothing is going to work out as you think it was going to work out. So now I'm developing my own products, I'm getting my resources, and I'm working this out.
That's fabulous. Do you have a partner, or you're just doing it all by yourself?
Yes, I have. Actually, here in China, I found a mentor. So I've been learning a lot about how culture and business work, because here is more about your, how do I say that in English way? Your certification about what you're doing. Like, you need to prove to people that you know how to do this.
Yeah.
So people, they want to validate what you're doing. So you have to validate first, and then you talk to people. And the other thing about Chinese culture is that your age determines a lot what you're doing. So most of the times when you are going to talk with someone about business, the people is like, oh no, you're only 20s. You don't know anything about business because you have 20, no matter how much experience you have, because that's the local mindset. So I've been learning a lot about how really the mindset of the culture works for you when you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And from the rest, I have my partners on my business.
So how did you find this mentor?
I've been giving TED Talks a lot, and I like to give public speaking. I don't like inspiring people, because inspirations works for some people, but some people not. But the only thing that works for people is action, doing stuff. Whatever you have to do it. No matter what it is, you should be doing something about this situation that you like, or that dream you have to achieve, or that goal you want to get. So I went a lot of public speaking, and I met a lot of people who is related to government, to government affairs, to magazines. And then this guy was giving a speech just the same day I was giving a speech in the same event.
Yes.
And he's half Hong Kongese, half Chinese, and we click a lot because his wife is really fashionable.
Yes.
And a woman who is on her 40s and is Chinese plus fashionable, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Chineses don't have that. And if someone is from China and is listening to me right now, I'm sorry, but that's true. The lack of taste for Chinese in general, even when you walk out, it's like my eyes bleed. So it's really hard. And we start talking about fashion, and then I met my mentor, and we start like going to a certain kind of meetings. And if other people is interested in that topic, that they can tap down any questions around that. Having a mentor is one of the things that I recommend to people the most. Someone who is not your family, someone who is not related to you, someone who is going to give you the options, and you can work the options around your own skills and what you want to do. That's really important.
That's great. That's great that you can meet. And I presume he speaks English since you
yes.
Mandarin. But so now you're in Shenzhen. You don't have that job, so you have to find your own housing now, right? Because
yes.
you have a company that's paying for it. So how did you go about doing that?
Here's a lot of we have this chat that is the WeChat. We don't use WhatsApp in here. We use WeChat, that is created for Shenzhen, that is the biggest technology company in China. So in the WeChat, you have everything. You don't have to go out of WeChat. In WeChat, you have all the notifications. If you are selling something, you sell it in WeChat. If you want to meet people, you meet people in the WeChat groups. If you want to pay for your house, for your phone, for your flight ticket, you do it in WeChat. You don't need to go out of WeChat to live life.
Wow.
So you ask in the groups like, hey, I'm looking for an apartment to rent, or I'm looking for a roommate. I'm selling stuff, and people always reply you right away because we have topic groups.
Okay.
So you have like, I don't know, Latinos in China, or housing, job groups. So people most of all for foreigners. So you can communicate, and actually in the street you can find a lot of people like small housing companies.
Okay.
In all the neighborhoods, because they take care of you renting the apartment, plus you registering in the local, because you must register it on the local police.
Why?
So they because you have to. I was talking that yesterday with one of my Chinese friends. She's from Canada, and she was like, we never do that in Panama. That's so rude, because actually police come to your house and they knock your door, and they take your papers once a year randomly to see if you are registered on the local police.
Oh, wow.
So you must register in the local police. And
so
the girl who is renting your apartment,
you have to keep your papers.
You have to keep your papers. Yes. And a lot of people get like, how do I say that? They send people to their countries when they are not registered. Like, you have to be registered. I mean, you have to be legal.
Wow. That's very interesting. So when you go to the police, you put down that you're like an entrepreneur and what you're doing in China?
Yes, everything. What time you arrive, what time are you, like, they give you a permit for 1 year, and where do you work, what's your address, what you're doing here, what's your type of visa, all that kind of stuff, everything. Like, they will check you everything out of you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you register, they help you get registered, and it sounds like you're talking about like what we call a realtor in the United States.
Yes.
Like, okay, yes. So they help you get registered, and then they help you find an apartment. And how do you pay? Do you
pay with your phone?
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so you have your monthly date, and you send the girl the money by the phone, and that's it. You pay your house.
Gotcha. And what happens if you don't pay? Who comes to find you?
No, actually, we use how do I say that? Digital keys in here. We don't use key. We don't use manual keys. That's too old fashioned. We use barcode. We use barcode. So your apartment, the main door has a barcode. If someone of the people who is looking at us have some stories about once that I came home and actually the barcode, the battery run out. So I couldn't get into the apartment because the battery was out.
Right.
But you put your code and then you get into the apartment, and if it's shared, every room has their own code. So you have your own code. If you don't pay, they block the door remotely. They don't have to come here.
So do they give you like 5 days to pay or something, like, because?
No, girl, this is too Western. This is too Western.
No, that's it. If you don't make the date, you're out of the room.
You're out. Sleep in the door with the dog.
Wow. No, in the United States, we call that due process, where you get an opportunity to go into court and to explain your side. But in China,
no. You don't go to court.
Wow.
You go to court here when it's something like really, 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 really like bad. From the rest, they have their own stuff. I mean, they have their own ways to put order around without you noticing.
Oh my goodness. So then, okay, that's how they deal with apartments. Like with the grocery store, going there, buying food, like, do you do that on your phone too? Or are you paying?
You can do that on the internet. You can buy your food on the internet, but you can also go into the grocery store. I prefer going to the grocery store because you don't know what food is real or not. So if you buy on the internet, you have many shops that are selling products, and the picture might be good, but maybe what you're buying is not real. So you have to be careful about, well, we all know we have to be careful about buying things from China. But you have to be careful about what you're buying if you are buying food even. So,
okay. Now, yes, we hear about counterfeit stuff coming from China. I'm in the US, I hear about that. But you're saying in China, like Chinese to Chinese or within the country, you have a lot of counterfeit stuff going on. That's very, very interesting to me.
For everything. For food, for bargains, for everything.
Can you think of a situation where there was something that kind of shocked you in terms of counterfeit and how they?
I have a couple of stories. Well, I can say the first time we went to the fruits market in Dongguan, I saw, this fake berries your mom used to put in, like if you have your grandma, for sure she has like fake, well, I don't know if United States, but in Latin culture, we always have like someone around, an aunt or a grandma who has fake fruits in the house.
Oh, yes.
They have these blueberries. We went to the market and we're walking there, and I was like, Natalie went to this small shop, and then I started realizing everything was looking like fake. And I asked her, and she was like, no, that's real, but they inject the fruit so it can look bigger, like it's not organic.
Wow.
It's processed, but they inject it. So it was looking, all the fruits were looking so weird. And at the time, I remember I was scared. I was really scared of buying fruits.
Right.
The second time was one time that I was buying rice, and they shut down this factory because they were selling half rice, half plastic.
Oh.
That looked like rice.
Oh.
Yes. So.
Wow.
So, and the other thing.
You have to be very careful.
Yes, you have to be really careful.
Wow.
Yes, those hangovers with fake alcohol is one of the worst things you can have in your life. You can die.
Yeah,
you can die. Yes.
I believe that. Wow. So.
Yes, many fake things.
Yeah. What about like pocketbooks and stuff like that for the fashionistas that might be watching? In terms of,
you find a lot of good things. I have a lot. I'm not going to lie. I have a couple of bags from Zara that is like super cheap, but you have to go to the factory market at night. And what happens with the counterfeiting that I discovered by working in the factory, and I know how the life in the factory works, is that sometimes you have a lot of production to do, maybe 10,000 bags, maybe 20,000 pairs of shoes. And not all the products are going to pass the quality control. So when they don't pass the quality control, me as a factory owner, I'm not going to trash it or I'm not going to burn it.
Right.
I told my employees to go outside of the factory and sell them.
Yeah.
So I remember every Friday afternoon when I was living in Dongguan, I make a walk on the like it was all the factories outside. All the workers of the factory was selling the things that didn't pass the quality control outside. So we buy like iPhone chargers for only $1 or a pair of shoes for like $3. And
wow.
I have a Zara bag that I buy it for like only $8 because it's not that they're bad made and it's not counterfeit. It's that if I have 15 that didn't pass the quality control, they prefer to sell it than to burn it. Or what am I supposed to do with that? If you see it from the point of view of the owner of the factory,
right?
It's not good for brands. It's not good for brands.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean,
yes,
I don't own a factory yet. So when I own it, I will tell you guys.
I hear you. Yeah, because I mean, it just sounds like defective products that they can't sell for full price, so they sell it for cheap.
Yes. And in Hong Kong, for the fashionistas out there who are looking this, in the border of Hong Kong and Shenzhen, there is a really, really famous mall. They only sell original branded products. All the Hong Kong is really famous for selling high-end goods. You see high-end shops everywhere. Like in just a square, you can see 2 Louis Vuitton shops, maybe 2 Miu Miu shops in the same store because there is a lot of people all the year. Yeah. So they have this shop, all the items that are not on the season, they send it to this shop and they sell it maybe 40% discount, 70% discount because they want to rid of all the things that are original,
right? But
they are not on the season.
Makes
so
sense.
That's a good place.
Yeah, no, that makes they do that here, so I can understand that. But how do you get around? Do you drive? Do you take public transportation?
No, we have public transportation, and the public transportation here, I might say it is really good. It's really, really good. You have the ferry, the bus. I have to say that getting a driving license is really hard. Like if you are foreigner, Western, and you have international license, it's easy. But then you need to understand the signals in Chinese. So at the end of the day, it's not that easy.
Right.
And for getting the local one, who is the Chinese, going to the Chinese shop and telling the guy I want to take the driving test, you have to do 5 driving tests. And you have to pay all of them. And then you get the license.
You mean like, so you go once, you do a drive, then you go back and do another test drive?
Yes.
Wow.
You have to go every 2 weeks.
Wow. Is it really like heavy traffic? Is it really a hard place to drive?
And not really. Oh. Not really. Most of the people, they have bikes.
Oh, okay.
Most of the people that have bikes are motorbikes.
Interesting.
Electric bikes.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Well, what about hospitals? What if you get sick? What's the healthcare like over there?
Well, about that, I must say that this is most that traditional medicine over here. So if you get sick, the doctor is going to say, make this tea for 5 days and then you will get better. And he's going to give you whatever plant he has in there for you to try and drink. You also have people believe a lot in acupuncture and all these treatments. Yeah. I have to say that I've gone a couple of sessions and it's really good. Yeah. Really, really good. I don't like the tea kind of move because I don't know what plant they're giving to me and I don't know if it's original or not. So, but if you go to take cupping or that kind of treatment, it's really good and it really works.
You know, I am a big believer in the Chinese tea. Like I drink it. There's a doctor here in the area that I live who's from China. He's an MD, but he deals with Eastern medicine. And I'm telling you, I can tell you that it has improved my life. So I'm a believer, and I like acupuncture and those things too. So
Yes,
okay.
it's really nice.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
nice. It's really nice. And honestly, when you go out, here is this old ladies get together in the afternoon, and many people, I think they have seen on the internet, they get together in the afternoon, they play music and they dance on the street. It's like a yoga session, but for grandmas. And it's really, it's really cool. I mean, you see all these ladies, and sometimes you're like, damn, I'm too lazy to go to the gym. And all these ladies are like 70 years old, and they're making all these poses.
Wow.
And they actually do, and they wake up really early in the morning. If you go out really early in the morning, you see all the old people walking around. They're really energetic. I think it has something.
Right. It adds to the quality of life. Yeah, no.
Yes.
So what's your favorite food over there in China?
Oh my God. Veggie dumplings. I like frog legs.
How are they prepared?
Chicken.
How are they prepared, the frog legs?
The frog legs, actually, Chinese don't sell the animals. They don't sell it died. I mean dead.
Oh.
They sell the animal. They sell you the animal alive.
Oh,
Because they think that if they're selling you fish, they tell you like, I cannot sell you a dead fish. They tell you like that, dead fish, because it's too dead. So you have to kill it and then cook it right away because it's more fresh. So in most of the restaurants, when you are going to eat fruit from the sea, they have the animal alive. So you choose it and then they cook it right away.
Right.
So from the legs, I don't cook it at home, but I know they sell, like, I can see the frog there in the store every time I go to the store. And I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to. And people bring it alive home. Like, you can see the guy with the frog alive going there. I'm like, no, thank you.
Right.
It's not for me, but it's really good. Frog legs is really good. I like chicken legs also.
Yeah.
With noodles. That's more Thailandese, but it's good. But the food here is really spicy, so you have to be careful.
I love spicy food. Love.
Oh, okay. That's nice. You have to come here then.
All right. So what do you do for fun over there in China?
We go to. I've been learning how to drive bike because at my age I don't know how to drive a bike, and everybody drive bike here. So learning to do a sport. Mm-hmm. People here like badminton a lot. So I have my own racket. We go to play badminton sometimes.
That's interesting.
I like to go. Yes, here is really famous the badminton. Sometimes we go to the Tech University, the Shenzhen Tech University, to play VR and games related to virtual reality and all that kind of stuff.
Wow. So it's a university with just tech stuff, like.
Yes. Wow. Only university for people who is into technology and mathematics and physics to apply it on technology. So you have the campus and you have a big, we call it sometimes aerospace. So you go there and you have a lot of games and all the startups that are developing their own games or their own technology products. You can go and try them for free. So we like to go there at least twice a month to see what's around and to play. And I don't know, playing VR is really cool. So
nice.
I love it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So, okay, do you think, we're going to wrap up soon, but do you think China is a good place for millennials, for people that are watching right now, that are around, in their 20s and want to do something different in life? How do you think China would fare out for them?
I think China is a place that everybody must come at least once. For from the point, I mean, from the moment you arrive here, you discover a total different reality. So I think that opened your eyes to a lot of things we don't count from the personal point of view, from the outside point of view. And if you are looking to do business or you are looking to grow a company, also from the point of view from your company, because China is first, all business is related about money. So when you come here, people will be like, no, Antonia, you have to be here because you want to make money. And the other thing is that if you come here, you are going to learn a lot about the future, because all the things that we use and all the things that we see on the Western world are in China already. And there are many things that are being built. And that has a lot to do with my idea about the misconception of the things in China. There are many really, really, really good things that have been created here.
Right.
Most of the things created in here had related to technology. I really did believe that technology is the future.
Yeah,
And
no,
so coming here is more like an open eye about all the things that you will see in there that doesn't exist nowadays. And we don't have the opportunity to show it. I mean, Chinese in general doesn't have the opportunity to show it to the world, because we have a restrict communication with the outside world, to call it like that.
Yeah.
So if you live here, you have a different point of view about how things are going to work on the future.
Right.
And if you come from our society where we are free and we can talk and we have a power of communication and the power to be, you think you have a really strong power of understanding how things are going to work in the future with all the knowledge we have already from the Western world that people don't have it here. So I think if you are an entrepreneur, this is a good place to be.
Right, right. And it sounds like you're explaining it as possibilities. That's the word that keeps coming to my mind. So that's interesting.
Totally.
But what about someone of color, like yourself or myself? How would we fare in China?
You will be like Beyonce in China.
I would be popular? Oh, okay, I'm going.
Yes! Yes, because actually there is only a few people. So sometimes you are going to go out and people will be like, hey, Rosi, picture, sorry. Like, I want to take a picture with you because I haven't seen somewhere with your pictures before. It's really funny. But
so just random people coming up to you, just wanting to take
random people. Like Westerns striking once again on the street. People will be like, picture, or they will show you the phone so you will know that they want a picture with you. But I can say that most of the time Chinese, they understand that our mindset is really different from them in general. So when you come here, they will be like, oh no, he is Western. So they're like that because they're from outside.
Mm-hmm.
They have this saying that is Lao Wai. Lao Wai is that you are outsider. So it means that you wasn't born here. You don't have the local mindset. You are different because you are from outside. So they understand that the way you look, the way you behave, the way you dress is different, and you can do that because you are Western.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are Chinese behave in a total different way.
Okay, so they accept you for who you are, basically.
They kind of.
Tell me.
A lot of people will be like, you're really weird, and they will look at you like there is something wrong with you if you dress in certain way. If you don't look like everybody, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that for them, it's really weird looking someone like that, because most of the Chinese, they all are educated to be the same. So if you look different, it's like, oh my God, you look different. Sometimes I make cat eye on makeup, and the girls look at me on the MTR like, huh? This is cat eye. And I'm like, girl, I mean, this is not even full face. You have seen nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So some things that for us are really normal, I think you start appreciating them a little bit, because here it doesn't exist.
Right.
It doesn't exist at all.
Interesting.
Most of all for education. Chinese people is educated different.
Wow. All right. Well, before we close and you tell people where they can find you and what's going on next, I want you to say, tell me, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Do you have one word? That's what we're all about.
One word? What's my favorite word? Wow. I don't know. I always say fantastic or amazing, but if I will call one word that is my favorite word, I would say
word
that
you
it
live
will
by.
be what word I live by.
It could be your favorite
Dreaming?
word. Huh?
Dreaming or doing. I think dreaming is a word that describes me a lot. Even though if I say people to do things instead of saying things or instead of thinking about things. But I think you must have your own anchor to do stuff. So you should have this goal in life that you want to achieve, and you have to work around that stuff. No matter if it's a goal, no matter if it's a project, no matter if it's a dream or whatever you're doing, I think you need to have a motto to do, to create, to move forward. And if you don't like the place where you are, you like the situation you are living, you are capable of doing things.
Yes.
So now I like the word capable, now that I just say it. But I think life turns in a way that you will always find, as I told you, the possibilities to do things. But you need to believe that your goal, you need to have faith in the things you want to do. Like, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to get this thing done.
Yeah.
And then all the things follow through. But you need to have the courage enough to go for it and to go out of your comfort zone and to think, no matter what, I'm going to go there. And when I'm there, I will see how I will solve it. But if you don't put yourself outside, you are not going to get what you want. And many of us, we are really, we dream a lot and we have a lot of ideas, but we are always scared about what other people is going to think, what other people is going to say. And excuse me, all the things we see around are made about an idea of something, or phone or computer, the place we live, the car we drive, was made about an idea about this thing. But there was only a few people who actually went out and they say, hey, I think there is an island outside of that long water that I don't see how it comes. And how that's what the world was discovered. These people jumped on the ship and they was like, let's see what is in the other side. And sometimes the only thing you have to do is build your ship and tell people, that's what I want to do. You want to jump in or you're not? And honestly, a lot of people is going to go to jump in your ship. So you better tell people, this is what I want to do. You want to jump in, and you should go and tell everybody what you want to do, because I'm sure people is going to look for your idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you build your ship correctly, a lot of people will come on board. But during this talk, the one word that sticks out to me is flexibility, because you went to China, you went for one job, that job wasn't to your liking, you ended up trying something else, but you're very flexible in as terms of what is going to work for me, and you're open to finding whatever that is. And I think that's sometimes what people don't do. They think they have an idea of what it should look like, and if it starts to look different, they don't know what to do. They're not able to be flexible.
I think flexibility is more a quality. Like, I'm really stubborn at me. Like, if I want something, this thing needs to happen. And this is going to happen, like it or not, this is going to happen, period. But to get things happen, you need to develop certain kind of qualities, like flexibility, like understanding, like accepting, like believing, like in consistent. Also, more than all, not for me, I think for everyone, for our better self. But we need to develop all these qualities today, because if not, you are not going to be that person, no matter how much you want it.
That's true.
And sometimes it's hard for you. Sometimes it's hard for you to go into a lot of bad situations. But excuse me, the person of you tomorrow need to pass all this stuff in order to be that human being tomorrow. And I think that's part of
Growth.
the dream people have. Many people grow from wanted to achieve that dream they have, and they need to learn how to manage things around in order to get where they want to be.
Yes. Well, on that note, all right, tell us where we can find you and what you're up to next.
You can find me on my Instagram as Rosi Ross. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Tumblr, on Pinterest, on Facebook. You can find me on the TEDx community. You can find me on YouTube, and you can Google me also.
Right. You got a couple TEDx talks, so they can Google to find those, correct?
Yes. You can find all my TEDx. I will be live also next week. On Saturday, I have this TEDx in Beijing, so I'm going there, and I will be like trying to stream some of the stuff I will be seeing there in my presentation. So you are all welcome to follow me, and also to follow all the things I do here. If you need any kind of help, or you have any kind of questions about how to move to China, how to come to China, how to move out of your comfort zone, how to start doing something, how to tell other people, this is my ship, come join me, just write me.
Sounds perfect. And I told everyone we're on all social media channels as The Word Changes. We have a website, thewordchanges.com, and we actually have a magazine. So if you guys have not seen this magazine, you need to
join.
Yeah, you can find the link on my Instagram page. Otherwise, we're working on the second edition. So stay tuned. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.